a community outreach initiative founded in 2018, taken to the virtual world due to the pandemic in April 2020. It is inspired by the people of Qatar and dedicated to my mother. This Ramadan evening, we host Reem and Julia, two wonderful, sprightly young women of Qatar. Welcome, Julia, and welcome, Reem.
Thank you.
Julia, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to our audience, and then I'll go to Reem?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bosco, for that lovely start to the program. My name is Julia Toon, or Jules, as many of my family and friends and loved ones call me. I'm the founder of Jules of the Kitchen, which is basically an online hub of recipes, all to do with food, culinary ideas, and basically because I am a great believer in cooking for family. My philosophy really is just to bring families together to cook in the kitchen. It's very simple, but that's who I am, and it's a privilege to be with you again, Bosco, because it was about a year ago I was here with you, and now it's lovely to be back again. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. Just around, actually, we celebrated Eid together, Julia.
Oh, yes, it was, yeah. And now we are another year on, and we're still stuck in our houses. But never mind, that's what it's all about at the moment.
Yeah, let's hear out from Reem.
Okay, so I'm an Instagram personality that, I'm a wellness advocate in terms of, I write for the Gulf Times about health, mental health and physical health. And I try to use the Instagram platform to show people how a female can juggle and balance work with being a mother, and as well as being active and taking care of her health from all different angles. So that's what I do, and I hope that I get to everyone's home and make a difference, inshallah.
Actually, you do. That's how you came onto my radar, and you're doing a fantastic job, Reem. And my sister is a big fan of yours. She is. Yeah.
I love her. She gives me motivation, mashallah. Hope she's doing well.
Yeah, she is. Thank you. Talking of family, actually, I need to give a shout out to my brother. It's his wedding anniversary today, Labor Day, right?
Congratulations.
And he's in Dubai, and happy wedding anniversary, Savio and Shilpa. Sorry. Yep. Well, going back to our our guests today, a lot of questions. What does Ramadan mean to you? Let's go straight to Reem.
Okay. So honestly, it means different things to me, but if I had to choose one thing to explain to everybody how I feel about it, it would be that it's a time for relaxation as well as a reset for your body, mind, physical, as well as your general life, taking a break from certain routines that you are stuck to, and then taking the opportunity to actually making new routines and changing your routines. So making a habit takes you more than a few days. So let's say 21 days according to some studies. So taking Ramadan as an opportunity to make changes into your own routine and your own habits is perfect, because it teaches you self-discipline. And to me, Ramadan is all about self-discipline and self-control. And then obviously the religious part of it is taking care of others and being grateful and taking care of your family and more family, traditional stuff. So I think of it as a time to take care of yourself and reset.
Well said. Over to you, Julia. What does Ramadan mean to you?
Well, and I am an expatriate living in, having the privilege to live in Qatar, 21 years, as you know, Bosco. Wow. I have seen many different Ramadans come and go, but fundamentally to me, to my family, Ramadan is a very special time, especially for the Qatari nationals, where it's a time where they come together and very much family orientated time. And that's, for me, is a lovely, special time. And I like to think that we as expatriates support during this very special holy month of Ramadan. So it's a very lovely time. I've seen a very quiet Qatar in those early 2000s, moving to 2005 to 2010, there was a huge trend of different venues. The hotels were all in competition with amazing decorations and for the suhoor, which was so special. And then sadly, through the changes that have come to the world, especially in the last couple of years, it's gone quieter again. But I don't think the message ever gets lost, and that it's family time and a very special time for.
True. I like the way you said about, the iftars. I mean, the spreads at the hotels.
Yes.
I just feel that they do go overboard, and now during quarantine is the real essence where like you visit homes. Of course, not more than 2 or 3 people, and with your masks on, and you get the little haris and the majboos, and that for me is better than going to an iftar at a big. I don't want to name restaurants, but those big restaurants. Yeah, and I mean, I'd like to say what Ramadan means to me, because I grew up here in Qatar, and I also experienced Ramadan back home in Bombay because my neighbors are Muslim, and we used to get a lovely biryani back home. And in Doha, during Ramadan, for me, Ramadan is healthy living, because every day during Ramadan, my father used to take me and my brother to play sport. We used to play sport in the Arabic school in Ras Abu Abud. I don't think so that school is there anymore, but it's just across the new stadium, across Qatar Petroleum. And daily we used to go and play field hockey there, do a little bit of exercise. So Ramadan kept us fit and helped us meet people which we wouldn't meet on a monthly basis daily, because the less working hours. And so Ramadan was a lot about congregations and sport and healthy. That's what I remember, reminisce about Ramadan. Let me go to the question now to Reem. Is how is this Ramadan different from previous Ramadans? What would you say?
I don't want to say that it's different and it doesn't feel the same, but honestly, it is different. Doesn't feel the same. And we are trying to find that balance where we can enjoy it as we did pre-COVID, while we can being safe, and taking all precautions seriously. But honestly, for me, it's just, I think it's for me, it's a half glass full, to be honest. I mean, it's meant this way, because I used to love all the gatherings. I used to love going out and enjoying those meals with all my friends and my family and extended family and all those big gatherings. And I know it's, for all people, it's a very big, loss to them. And I agree. But after last year and how we dealt with it for the first time, that was more like the hardest time to deal with it. This year, we kind of got used to it and we understand it more, and we're looking for ways to, do it, with friends and family, even remotely, and how you can still send gifts and you can still send, flowers and chocolates and food all the time. Food's always welcome in every home, and Julie will explain that soon. So yeah, but it's just that I look at it now as a blessing to be able to have more immediate close group family gatherings like we did last year. We have one more year of it, and I thought it would only be 1 year, and we were lucky enough to have another year, honestly. So it's more, secluded, more private, and at the same time, you're enjoying such, close time and bonding time with your close family and friends. And at the same time, I love the fact that we are using less food, in terms of having those big buffets and in terms of having those huge gatherings where so much food is left over. So people are seeing the bright side of having less gatherings. So maybe in the future we'll have less gatherings even after COVID is done. There's a lot of, good that came out of this, to be honest. And again, when you're also secluded, you find more of your personal weaknesses and are able to work on them during this blessed month. So that's a negative that's turned positive when you say, oh, I can't really be alone more, and I can't be, in such small groups. But you have to learn to do these things and have to cope and adapt. to what's happening to you in the current situation. So I love it. It's different. It's not the same, but it's different, and I still love it. So that's the way you look at it. You look for the blessing in each, situation, and how it still reminds you of your old Ramadan, and how you're still able to talk to people and share stories and share food, most of all, most importantly.
Very well said. I love what he said, Reem, and that's one of the reasons I like to get you again and again on the show, because we can't have enough of Reem and of Julia. Yeah, really, very well said.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Yeah.
Julia, I can't. I'm sorry, but I'm distracted because there's too much of food around you. I know we're talking.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, it's because I've been getting excited to share some of my ideas, my Ramadan recipes with you, Bosco, because I've been very lucky. I've been doing some wonderful work with Mahaba. And as we're in this holy month of Ramadan, they asked me to come up with some special recipes for special times of this wonderful month. So for me, I have a particular wonderful soup that I would love to share
yeah.
with
Well,
everyone.
before,
And I've been making
hang,
breads and
hang
lovely,
on, hang
lovely.
on. Before you go there,
Yes.
I'm a bit cross with you. You're talking about marhaba, but you're not talking about the dishes that I've asked you to actually make. Can we go there first?
Okay, well, we'll go there first. So what have I been making? Well, I wanted to share one of my lovely soup recipes. It's called a roasted tomato soup, which I think I might have to heat up and munch myself a little bit later. But I wanted to share this because I'm such a believer in making homemade food, homemade recipes.
Fantastic.
Encouraging people to cook at home for themselves, because that's the way they know the ingredients of what they're eating, and giving and sharing with their families and their not friends for this year, but for their families. And it's so important to actually know and understand better what it is that you are eating, because I have an expression, everything in moderation, but you are what you eat. This is very, very important.
True.
And if you've made it yourself, then you know what's in it. So
Yeah.
I made these
Julia,
lovely soup, and we have the most wonderful ingredients here in Qatar.
is that homegrown? Is it homegrown?
No, I'm not a gardener. No. But I look at these wonderful tomatoes. These are Qatar made.
Oh, lovely.
And I love it. I'm so thrilled to see the way Qatar moves forward in food production. These are the most beautiful Tommy tomatoes, as my husband calls them. And I just love, so I go and I honestly stress to everybody, look for the label that says Qatar made, because it's coming from all the wonderful farms here in Qatar. They're either very small, or they're coming from places like Agrico, which I had a great privilege to tour the other few weeks back, lockdown. And I noticed that Elizabeth, hello Elizabeth, who's the chairperson of American Women's Association, we all went, and it was such a wonderful experience.
Talking of farms,
sorry.
The last time I visited a farm was at Abdul Latif Jaida, and he took me to the Jaida brothers farm, and it was lovely. It's for home produce only, not for the market. But there were some lovely tomatoes that he's grown, and I'm pleading. I've been asking him lately that I would like to visit again, but he said, yeah, sure, we will, because he's doing up the place again. So yeah. Please,
I'm so impressed with Agrico. Did you know, by the way, Bosco, that Agrico is totally organic? Did you know that? And and it's something that I'm a great. I very much enjoy and promote organic products. But here in Qatar, anything with Agrico label on is organic, and I was so impressed with the way they use how they control the insect problem, how they nurture all their plants. It was quite fascinating.
Lovely.
But so I wanted to share this soup because it's so easy. The one thing about Jules about myself, Jules, is that everything I do is it has to be easy because we're all so busy. And who's got time
But
to spend hours in the kitchen?
Julia,
Not me.
Nobody.
yeah, Julia, do you easily share your recipes? Because trust me, women don't share
Yes.
recipes.
No, they don't, but I do, because I have a website, which is, forgive me, Bosco, but it's www.julesofthekitchen.com. I have all the recipes are original to me, and they're recipes that I've collected over my 40 plus years in the world of food. So I now,
Yeah.
someone asked me to share, and I thought, well, I really will share. I'll go viral.
Yeah, lovely. That's fantastic. Julia, just one more thing before I move back to Reem, because we have to. It is key to be balanced here. Yeah, I like to use
Oh,
that. I love using that. I love that word, by the way. Keys to balance. I want to know
Thank
how. I would like to know how you came up with that. Before I finish with Julia. Julia, you can keep repeating your website. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I have you here, because people have been clamoring to know how to cook some healthy food at home. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
so we need
So
to know more.
yeah.
So are
So
you?
my website is full of that, but my website is also full of everything because I believe. I mean, as a trained chef or cook that I am, I like to be able to offer multiple choice for everybody. I do have organic, I do have egg free, I do have vegan friendly, but I also do use butter and eggs and sugar and blah blah blah. But as I said, everything in moderation. So when you go to Reem, I'm going to come put my tomato soup, my Tommy soup, on the heat so that I
Okay.
can have a little mouthful
Yeah,
while I
sure.
talk to you.
Yeah, sure. Lovely. But be wary, because
Your
I
blood.
know where you live, and I might just be there once the show is over. I know where you live, Julia.
I know.
Just
So
follow the smell, Bosco.
yeah, exactly. Uh, Reem, fitness, health, culture, food, the act of giving. I feel you embody all of these. You can either choose, or you can give me a quick anecdote for each one of them, and or maybe a many for fitness and health, because I almost thought that you were a chef, because the way you talk about food is that it's so learned. So one of your posts I picked up on was uh, Mama Muftah's recipe, or Mama Muftah's haris, or I don't know what dish that was, but I can still remember that post where you said Mama Muftah's kitchen.
Yeah.
So before we go to that part, I would like to know fitness, health, culture, food, the act of giving. Explain.
Do you want me to explain in terms of Ramadan or in terms of just general?
Yeah, general. I mean, because I wish Ramadan was every month.
Okay, well, with regards to fitness, it's very simple for me. I just try to get to everyone's little subconscious. I go deep because people say they want to work out, they want to get healthy, they want to get fit, they want to eat healthy and clean, but then the next week they're back to their old routines and their old ways. So it's all about thinking about who you're benefiting while you're taking care of yourself. Because, okay, as a female, as a daughter, as a sister, as a mother, as a wife, you have people relying on you, and the healthier you are, the more you're able to give to them. So if you're not taking care of your own body, mind, and physically, mentally and physically, you're not able to help those around you, especially your children who need that crucial help, especially your sisters and your friends who need that help and who they can rely on. So if I'm sick all the time, if I have, a weak stomach, or if I'm coughing or always getting a cold and sneezing, and I'm always feeling fatigue and tired going up the stairs and down the stairs, I can't play with my own kids, what am I doing? So I took the decision to have children, to be a wife, to help my mother, to help my sisters, my friends. I have to work to make a living as well. So you have to be in good shape, not the best shape, not what you see on Instagram and all those magazines. You just have to take care of yourself. You don't have to look the part. You just have to be mentally healthy, physically taking care of yourself. You know, I like what Julia, by the way, is telling me things that I always tell myself and how I life coach myself. And, you know, it's all about moderation. I completely echo what she's saying. It's about moderation, having a bit of everything. I don't like dairy too much, but I will still have milk once in a while. I'll still have yogurt and cheese. I'll still have butter, although I really hate butter, but I'll still have butter, you know, and like, you know, I don't like certain veggies. My mom says, you know, when will you ever like mushrooms? I hate mushrooms, but I'll cut them up into small pieces and include them into my soups or into my veggies or into my meals because I don't taste them. And I know that they're good for me. So it's all about doing what's good for you because those around you need you to be in that good shape, especially if you're a working female who has children, you know, and is a mother. Even if you're not a mother, you're doing a lot and our bodies need to cope with that. So help your body cope with it. So for health and fitness, that's what I would have to say. And then for the act of giving, to me, it's all about being grateful. No matter how much we have or do not have, I will always compare myself to others and say, thank God for what I have. Yes, maybe I want that and I want this and I would love more of that, but it calms me down to think that I'm happy. You know, I might have problems, I might be sad, I might be angry, I might not have what I want, I might not get what I want, but there are others that are suffering way more than what I'm suffering. And you have to be grateful and remind yourself of that and always look to help others because karma is out there. I really believe in karma and being a good person. So Ramadan just ignites that for me and emphasizes that even more. So I just love this month even more as well for that.
Yeah, well said, well said.
Thank you.
There's a question for you, Julia. There's a question for
Yes.
you from a new friend of mine. I call her my new iftar buddy.
Yeah.
I hosted her son last week on my show, the superstar Salem. So Noor Al Aida has a question for you. I have a
Yes.
question for Julia regarding gluten-free recipes.
Yeah.
What is the
Yeah.
secret as a chef to make a successful gluten-free dough, yet
Well,
avoid all,
yeah.
yet avoid all the starch that we have to get a good dough?
Yeah,
Dough.
it's. I mean, first thing about gluten-free, it's always going to be a challenge because real flour has gluten in it. And what is gluten in very simplistic terms? Basically, it's a protein that during cooking expands and sets as it bakes. So therefore, the air that in your product, it's grown and then it'll set and you get this aerated bread. But if you're using gluten-free flour, that has been removed. So it's always going to be a flatter result. It's always going to have sadly, not so much aeration going on inside. So you've got to think of how do you achieve this? So it's a lot of sieving, and I'm afraid you do need to use a lot of baking powder, which is a mixture to actually give an artificial rise to whatever you're making. So it is a challenge, and my recommendation is you just keep practicing and keep at it till you find something that you like. I tend not to make a lot of gluten-free breads because I love bread, and forgive me, but I know people with dietary problems do. I do make cakes, but and I have them on my website, but they do come out flatter than a standard because that you've removed that strength within the flour that when it's cooked sets, which gives the height. But but nowadays you can get such great flours. You know, I remember being very gluten not free, but I was looking into it many years ago when I was living in New Zealand. So we're talking over 20 years ago. There was nothing market that you tried to avoid flour, and you were looking around what to do. But now you see such wonderful products where it's easy. I personally believe you should always try to make your own gluten-free biscuits. They'll be very short, and crumbly, but they still will be nice because I do think you have to watch the packets. What's written on this on the commercially bought they do rather slip some other preservatives, and I call them the baddies, get in. So you do need to be very careful. I don't know what you think, Reem, but I also think that reading, you've got to read all the ingredients if you buy anything that's already bought, prepared, commercially prepared, because I'm afraid they do slip the baddies, the preservatives and the additives, the colorings, all go in these products, which in long term is not good for the body. The body doesn't cope terribly well with a lot of over consumption of these additives and preservatives. That's one of my pet hates. I do eat, you know, I do buy bought biscuits and things, but I do check to see what's in there.
Wow.
You know, I'm going to have some soup.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a bit of soup.
Yeah,
Well, excuse
no,
me.
yeah,
You know,
well, you're not excused.
bless you all.
You're not excused, actually, you know, but what can I do?
It's a wonderful soup. This you just Reem, you'll love it, because what you do is you just bung it all in the oven. It's my sort of. You just basically get these wonderful tomatoes. You cut them in half. You put them in a big pan. Lots of wonderful olive oil, because I'm a big extra virgin olive oil eater. Some garlic, which is really good for your immune system. We all need that at this time in the world. So, you know, lots of garlic, roasted away so they get lovely and caramelized. Then whiz them up in your food processor, and you have this divine. Now I make it really thick because I like my soups really thick, and I'm just trying to get it on camera, and it's not proving to be. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, yes.
Julia, you're a pro. Julia, I hate you, Julia.
And shh, don't tell anyone about that. That's a bit of cream. But delicious.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Julia.
So if you need the recipe, it's on the website.
Lovely. I hate you, Julia.
Enjoy. Bon appetit.
Yeah. Talking of recipes, Julia, talking of recipes.
Some lovely bread with it. Sorry.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know what? Now you're in a little bit of a corner now. You are actually in a corner, but now I'm going to put you into another corner. You might have to come up with something for Reem also, and I'm going to throw in Noora, because Noora is the lady whose niece or friend's daughter you're making that special cake for, you know, with all the different ingredients. The special cake you're making for Mariam. But before we go to that, I would like to go quickly to Reem and ask her if she can shed a little light or a little bit about her mama's recipes or some food that she loves eating at her mom's place.
What's traditional? What do you, with your family, Reem? What's the most popular traditional Ramadan recipe when you all come together for suhoor or iftar?
Okay, so our family is a little bit multicultural. So my dad is Qatari, but my mom is Syrian. And I don't know if you know about the Syrian ladies in Syria, but they're very well known and popular for making amazing, amazing, amazing home cooked foods. And everyone knows, like, people will go and marry Syrian women because they know their stomachs will be happy for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
A joke, but it's very common. So in our house, we do not always follow the traditional Ramadan meals. We have them every once in a while, but for example, one day we'll have breakfast for breakfast. So we'll have pancakes, we'll have scrambled eggs and omelet, some, multi-grain toast with, homemade jam my mom has made with compoting, apricots or plums or something.
Wow.
And
lovely.
all of us have our own tasks. So yeah. And then, like one day, for example, we'll have, mashed potatoes and steak, because protein is really important for us in our family during Ramadan, because that keeps you satiated and full. So then we'll have madruba. Madruba is one of my favorite meals in general, but it's one of the most common Ramadan meals. And madruba is one of my favorite meals because I can actually make it. I don't have the time right now, but eventually when I have the time, I will show you guys how to do it. But Mama Muftah has been my role model since I was a kid, because all she would do was make us home cooked meals every single day and make us appreciate and understand why she would do it and how she would do it. And we would help her in the kitchen and learn about the ingredients and how to read food labels and see which flour to use or these kind of things. So madruba, for example, what she used to make for us a lot is it's like a veggie stew. So you choose your favorite veggies like zucchini and carrot, for example, and then you would add that with oats, and then you'd add that with crushed tomatoes, and then you'd have, like, for example, dill and salt and pepper, and then the black lemon powder. So you just mix that all together into a casserole pot, and then you put it in the oven and it cooks, and it's awesome. It's just a bunch of scrambled ingredients, like the way you make soup, so simple. It's a little stew, but tastes amazing, and it's full of such good protein and fiber and veggies, and all the nutrients are there for a perfect meal, which is well balanced. So madruba is one of my top 5 meals for Ramadan. That can be very healthy. Just beware not to add so much butter on top to glaze it, or a lot of oil or ghee.
Oh, I like the way you yeah.
Lovely. Delicious.
Wow. So, Julia, are you can you give us a quick explanation, a real quick one on the special dish you're making for Mariam? Because I'm very interested in that.
Oh, right. Yes. Now, I'm going to love doing this, Bosco, because you're doing this for such a lovely reason, and it goes straight to my heart.
Well,
So basically, this young girl, am I right, Bosco? She has a lot of chronic allergies. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about chronic, but yes, she has allergies. She's one of the girls who took part in our Garangao program, and I had Boho Social's dessert lab to give us a little cake pop boxes, and you've seen Salim and Soha and little Sheikha Lolwa unbox them, but Mariam unfortunately couldn't have it because she's got her own, exactly. So then I struck. I said, "Hey, hang on! I know a very good chef who can do this." So thank you so much, Julia, for doing this. You haven't done it yet, but I'm sure you will.
I'm too busy, but I will do it next week.
Yeah.
I've got 2 thoughts of mind, Bosco. 2 things. First of all, I am a great lover of carob powder, because I don't eat chocolate because I get terrible migraines with chocolate.
Okay.
So, but I feel a bit left out because I want to eat chocolate, but I can't. So if I was making a chocolate cake or brownies, I would use this carob powder, which is basically it's deriving from a carob nut, which makes this looks like chocolate, does taste slightly different, but it's really, really good for you. It's got a lot of antioxidants in it. So I was going to make her this either a chocolate vegan cake, no eggs, but I was going to use carob and organic flour. But I think you've told me it needs to be gluten-free, so I will do that. And I have to add any oil. Now, the one thing I do use a lot is coconut oil as a substitute for butter. Margarine, I never use margarine. I could bring up a full story on margarine that I got from New Zealand if we have time. But for now, I'm just going to share. I either cook when I cook with olive oil. I cook with what's the other one I use? Oh, I'll have to tell. I'll just go and look at it in a minute. But I use a lot of coconut oil. But when you're coming to make cakes and things, you have to weigh things out. So I recommend that you put this in the fridge and then you treat it like butter. So if it says add 200 grams, you can actually spoon it out because it's not going to run. It's not an oil. It's solidified, and then you get the right weight for what you're baking. But if you're this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use coconut oil. I'm going to use the carob. I will use gluten-free. Probably, I like a brand called Dove's Farm. I know it's imported in, but it's really lovely. I use an awful lot of cotta flour because I like this one a lot. But if I want something different, malted, as I used for my malted bread loaf, I would go to Dove's Farm. They are really, really good organic brand. Sugar-wise, I do go to the coconut sugar, which I will use for this lovely girl. And I will make this cake. It's not actually that. You just substitute. You substitute the rest, the ingredients to other recipes. But I will make this for her. Yes.
Noura's added that for you there. Noura says, Mariam, yes, she doesn't have allergies, but she's on a GF dairy and added sugar diet.
Okay,
there you go. There you go.
We don't want to do anything there. And actually, I have a rather nice recipe, which it doesn't come up like a normal chocolate cake, but it comes up enough, you know, and it will be really good. But I just quickly share this little thing that really caught me when I was in New Zealand, which I think Reem will love, because it was a TV advert and it made such an impact on me. Gosh, it was a long time ago. But basically, very emotive, typical New Zealanders. They're very good at things like that. They have basically this little girl and a mother in the kitchen, and mother's cooking, and the daughter comes in and says, "Mummy, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I'm making butter." No, she was making a cake, and the little girl said, "What are you using?" And she said, "I'm using butter." "Oh, Mummy, how do you make butter?" So mother went on to say, "Well, it's milk, cream, and then you churn it with a little bit of salt, and you put it in this contraption, and you churn it mad, and it solidifies and becomes butter." So the little girl went, "Oh, okay. But Mummy, how do you make margarine?" And the mother just turned around and said, "Darling, you need to ask your father that. He's the biochemist."
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good, because that margarine, you have to be really careful. It's all artificially made. I'm a big believer in the natural products, the butter, the cream, the good flour, quality. If you're blessed to buy quality vegetables, if you know where they're grown, it's good to buy your local vegetables, eat seasonally. All these old-fashioned ways actually really are good for health, and exercise is really, you've got to move.
Julia, again, when you said eat seasonally, I'll go again back to Reem, because in her posts she's put seasonal food, like some of the mangoes she's put. You know, I'm watching you, Reem, on all your posts. Yeah, can you shed some light on what you write for Gulf Times? You know, because another friend of mine, she goes way back a long way. Shifa Ali. I know Shifa when she was with Qatar Airways, like 17 years ago. Yeah, she might not want to say that, but yeah, I know Shifa from those days. So can you shed some light, because you write some lovely articles on Gulf Times, and I'd like you to talk about it.
Thank you, first of all. I appreciate that. I like to write about things that I also either know about and want to share, like, the knowledge with people. And then also I look for questions that I have come up to ask myself and want to research. And then once I do, I want to share that knowledge on the spot with, my readers. So I'll go for, mental and physical health, both categories and topics, because those are two important to balance in your life on a continuous basis. And for example, I'll talk about how people can eat, healthy food and be nutritious, and eat clean food and not processed food, like Julia said, whole foods. Look at the labels, look at the ingredients. Don't look at those long words you don't understand. That means it's not a good product if there's too many of those things in it. So I talk about things that people should be aware of on a daily basis when you're going to the market. Or for example, if you enter a gym, how would you enter a gym, and how would you start using the gym, safely? So I talk to people at different levels where they are. I want to be, very generic to those I'm talking to. So I'll hit on different things that are coming out on a daily basis or even trending at the time. So recently I wrote about Ramadan, obviously, and how everyone has a very big debate about when to work out during Ramadan. So I have a very personal opinion on this. Very, very personal. Others may, disagree, but I believe that you should not exert too much, stress on yourself and your body if you are fasting, and while you're fasting. It's similar to intermittent fasting, but you have no water, which is very crucial for hydration. So pushing yourself too hard is not the best idea. People might think it's the best idea, but it's not. Light cardio, mild working out and activity is good. And for those who have not worked out previously and think Ramadan is the best time to jumpstart that routine, that I do not agree with either, because you're fasting. You're going to be putting too much stress on your body. You're pushing yourself in different ways that you cannot, control. So take this month and enjoy it. 1 month will not affect your body or your muscle mass. If you're worried about reducing it becoming, it decreasing when you're not having as much food during the day and sleeping. So people put those things aside, because as long as you're eating a well-balanced diet, sleeping enough, drinking a lot of water, taking care of your body and your mind, for 1 month, you're going to be fine. You don't have to keep gymming every single day. I'm a gym freak. I love the gym. But during Ramadan, I take a step back, because I know this is not for my physical fitness, development. It's for my whole well-being development. So you got to get your priorities straight. So I try to help people, shed light on that through my articles, and I hope it gets to them.
Yeah, very well.
Very good. Lovely.
Reem, are you also writing for Al Raya? Do they translate it, or?
No, it's just the English version of the Gulf Times.
Okay, because I think it's worth its while to share it with the Arabic diaspora, don't you think?
I agree.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk to the editor. Yeah, yeah. Well, I did. So, is it a myth, or so? Because I see a lot of people pushing themselves actually just before before iftar, like say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Yeah, maybe before 5. Like 3:34, people are like running their paces. So you think, I mean, that's not the right thing to do, right?
For me, the most ideal time that people will not probably entertain as an option for working out is right before their suhoor meal. So they go work out, they come back, they have their last meal for the evening, and then they go right to sleep. Because that's when your body is recovering and creating more, muscle, and helping your muscle mass increase, and your body's recovering from that workout and just had food as fuel to refuel your system and to refuel your storage levels for energy for the next day. So that's
Wow.
the ideal time, but not everyone will actually sacrifice their time for that healthiest option, which is kind of funny for me sometimes. But then if you don't have the discipline to actually wake up or be up at the time or to do it then, you can obviously do it before futur, before iftar, but it's a maximum of 1 hour before iftar, and it's low to mild cardio, not even weight training. Weight training should happen right before you eat, but still not the best idea, but it should happen after you eat and you have energy in your body to actually use, because then you're going to be actually you're going to be burning muscle and losing some of that muscle mass you're trying to create. So you're going backwards.
True. Well,
So
actually,
yeah.
I know somebody who actually exercises and pushes himself just before suhoor. He was on his paces last night. Ahmed Al Shahrani, a common friend.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he's disciplined. He's definitely disciplined.
Yeah, mashallah. It does take discipline.
Yeah. So he does that. Uh, let's go to the host takeover part, because we have a few more minutes. I promised myself I won't keep you two ladies too long on Ramadan nights. So
Thank
a host takeover is something I started a couple of weeks ago, where I give you the opportunity to host a Big B meetup with just 2 questions, and be kind. Be kind. Yeah. So Julia, if you'd like to ask Reem one question and myself, you already asked us many questions, so you can just keep it to one now.
Yes, well, Reem, I'm just so thrilled to be able to connect with you. It's wonderful. I believe when you said earlier you have a youngster and a little baby. How are you? You're looking gorgeous. How are you doing this
Thank you.
Amazing.
I actually,
Again, sorry, lovely. That was it. Yeah. Tell me how fantastic. How
so
you
I have a
feeling?
1-year-old daughter, and then
Yeah.
I'm currently 4.5 months pregnant.
Mabruk.
Thank you.
Mabruk. Fantastic.
Thank you. So, yes, I'm struggling with the whole time management and keeping myself, a priority, as well as taking care of myself for my
Yes.
pregnancy and my daughter, because she's so young and needs me right now.
Yes. Yes.
So wait, sorry, what was the question again?
I just wanted to know how you looking so lovely. That was the thing.
Oh,
But
thank you.
Wonderful.
So,
Go on. Yes. How are you feeling?
sorry, thank you. Yeah.
Number 4, and with your 4 months pregnant, rather. How are you feeling?
I'm not
Julia.
feeling so great, but in the evening hours, I feel the best. So that's the best part of the day. And honestly, it's all about being positive. I get moments where I'm actually feeling horrible, feeling not so great. But I always think there were other women who had no help, no support network, no friends and no family around to help. So Reem, you can do it. So I push myself to continue to smile, because smiling is the best way to cover all of that and just be happy and be grateful. So smiling, and then obviously trying to eat as well as I can for my baby and for my future baby, as well as trying to be as active as I can by taking care of my daughter, but not taking too much action, to hurt myself during this complicated pregnancy.
That explains why she's being
But thank you.
incommunicado. So that explains why.
Well done. And my little question for you, Bosco, is I want to ask about your art, because are you still taking photographs, Bosco? Are you still doing your amazing Big B photography?
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's how I pronounce it, but not photograph. Yeah, but it is Italian. I spell it as the Italians do. In fact, that's one of my pictures behind there. It's part of my art photo expo, and I was planning to have it end of this year, but I think I'll postpone it to next year. And it's called. It's going to be based on Qatar. It's the name of the. Yeah, thank you. And the name of the exhibition is Elements of Qatar Through My Eyes. I've got pictures, of different. I've collected over the past maybe 14 years with various cameras of mine, and I'm going to be exhibiting them at a not yet decided location. It could be virtual. I hope not. It could be virtual, but you know what? When you have something virtual, the whole world can see. That's why.
And they should see your art, Bosco, because do you remember how you very kindly donated to a charitable event? Well, not a charitable event, but an event we had here in Qatar, because you were so kind when you gifted your one of your paintings that's gone to have a very prestigious place now in one of the big oil companies here in the lobby. And it was a beautiful image of the Qatari flag with the young man sitting on the roof of his car. Very emotive, very fantastic.
It's let me correct you there. It's not in the lobby, it's in the CEO's office actually.
Oh, even better. Sorry.
Thank you so much. I always charity. It's not charity, but it's always good to do something good, and I'll always continue doing that, even with my art. Thank you so much. Let's move to Reem. She's done really well to keep up with you, Julia, and even me. So
superb. Wonderful. Lovely, Reem.
Thank you.
Easy question, please.
Okay, yes. Sorry. Yes. Okay, so my question is the same for the both of you, because I'm always intrigued to ask people who don't usually fast about their experience, if they actually tried or attempted fasting, and if they were successful or not, and if they didn't attempt, why they haven't attempted or tried yet.
Okay.
Fantastic question.
I have a question back. Sorry, Bossy. Reem, how long do you call a fast? An hour? 2 hours? 3? What do you mean all day?
So from dawn to dusk.
Oh, okay. Over to you, Bosco. You're going to answer that one first.
Yeah. Well, I'm an ogre when it comes to eating. But I have done intermittent fasting. We do have a couple of days that where we have to fast too, and I think it's also my father told me that you need to be disciplined to fast. Like, okay, yeah. So it's a lot about discipline, self-discipline. It's not about just having the urge to eat, or drink. But I think it's I have tried to fast, Reem. I have really. It's very difficult for me. Let alone water. I mean, because I think it's what is that? What do you call that? Where where you want
I
to
don't
eat?
know.
Like stress eating, or happy eating, or because if you give me a chocolate bar, I can finish the whole chocolate
Yeah.
bar just like a munchie. So as I said, I'm an ogre when it comes to eating. But I love iftars. I love iftar boxes. I love iftar meals. But yeah, no, that is a nice question, huh? And I'm gonna work on it.
That's,
And the day I fast the whole
yeah,
day, the day
me
I
too.
do a whole one, I'm gonna have a full show just on that on Big B Meetup because I
You should
mean,
do a whole like live documentary real time with you during the day as you fast and give us updates of how you're feeling.
yeah, I
Terrible.
should do that. Yeah,
Terrible.
yeah. Good question, Reem. Good question,
Very
really.
good. I mean, I know, Reem. I do juices. I've done juice. Well, no, but then I've eaten then, haven't I? I was going to say juice till noon. I've got one of those wonderful juicing machines, but that's not fasting because I have the juice and then I wouldn't have anything until noon. So no, I think I fail
Wow.
abysmally.
That-
I'm not a big eater during the day. I do it all wrong, actually. I shouldn't say that. Here I am live. I tend to eat more evenings because of my family. That's the trouble. But I try not to eat too much while I'm preparing and making food because otherwise I would probably be rather large.
No, I don't think so, Julia. You never put on weight in all your 21 years that I've seen you in Doha. I
No,
don't think so.
I'm very active and I do exercise, but walking now. In my youth, I was like you. I would remind. I love the gym. I was a gym groupie, and I would be living in the gym. Love it. But I have slowed down. But I do walk, and I'm a big walker. But to fast all day, as you just said, Bosco, it takes a tremendous willpower, and it's.
Yeah.
If I had a I'd take my hat off to you because I'm too weak, I think.
Yeah, no, I forgot to ask.
You're not
weak. Pardon?
Honestly, trust me. I have because I was raised in I went to international schools, so I had a lot of expat friends that were studying with me here in Doha. So a lot of them would surprise us and attempt to fast. And some would fail and say, I gave it a shot, I'm happy. If I tried, I'm good, which is good. At least you tried. That's the most important thing, honestly. So kudos to the two of you. Or for trying for a few hours at least. Also, Julia, kudos. But some people would surprise us and would start to do it one day just for fun and then would continue to do it until the end of Ramadan. And some of them found it so easy, some found it hard. So you really don't know how you will react.
Yes.
So it's worth a try to see how you actually will react.
My dad used to fast. Yeah, guys, we have a little more time. I have two questions. One is the message of peace and love, which you're going to end with. But I want Reem to tell me, how did you come up with the name Keys to Balance? Can you give us a little bit of insight on that? Because I love that.
I love this story. So yes, I will.
Lovely.
So my name is Reem Al Muftah, and Reem means baby deer, which I love. So I'm a little Bambi. But then the most important last name, Al Muftah, means the key. So
Oh.
So I'm the keys to balance.
Wow,
Fantastic.
I love that. I'm so happy I
Yeah.
asked you this question
Yes.
Thank you.
Lovely.
because
Lovely.
in the social media in the social media world, people wouldn't say hi Reem. They say hi Keys to Balance. You know what I mean? Like hi Big B Photography. So
Yeah.
you like Julia Toon will be Julia Toon, of course, right? Jewels of the desert. Jewels of the
No,
desert.
kitchen, Bosco.
Jewel, oh, kitchen,
I
yes.
know you do. I know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I forgot to ask you your question of the what is your Ramadan mantra, or do you think you've covered that? Ramadan in one word or one sentence. Reem, but you really rocked us with that question, huh? You really rocked us with
Yeah,
the
that's good.
yeah. It's a good question. Yeah, fasting
Yes.
is
It's very good.
fasting is good. It is good. It cleanses, doesn't it? It cleanses.
Yeah, it does. And actually, there's quite a trend coming nowadays. Have you noticed that they're saying people? I don't know how you feel about this, Reem, but when it comes to weight loss, they're now bringing it. I mean, everything's always a trend, isn't it? You know, you get so many trends going around, ketos and
Yeah.
other things. But I just wondered that there now is this intermittent fasting as a way of weight loss. I don't know. I think again, you need to have supervision if you were going to do something like that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there is a greater chance of weight loss during Ramadan if you're doing it the right way, not the way that many people, the younger generations, do it now, which is sleep throughout the day and then eat all throughout the night. That
Yes.
way, they will not lose weight.
Yeah.
And they have to start to understand that, but they're not. But if you're doing it the right way by breaking your fast with some dates and some, buttermilk or yogurt, or even just for me, sometimes fruit, and then after an hour having a meal, and then having some activity, and then having a last meal before you sleep, you can achieve good weight loss results that are not so extreme and that are gradual. So yes, 100%. And if you do the mild cardio before iftar, your body would burn, but you have the chance of burning some muscle too.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's thank you. And Reem, what would you like to talk about when I get you on the show next? Oh, I have to. I think we have to plan this because if you're pregnant, having a baby soon, or not soon, maybe next year, next year. Yeah. So we'll talk
No,
about
no, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We can do a pregnancy show on how to eat for pregnancy.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. And Julia, how is my cake coming along? Because you might forget about my cake, and I'm gonna be a badger
Oh,
after you.
yeah. I made. Well, you see. Oh, hang on, Bosco. Now the thing is, Bosco, I made this for you, which is the classic Victoria sponge.
Victoria sponge,
It's a
lovely.
Julia, how does your website work? Do you just deliver depending on what the person requests, or how long in advance do you need to know?
How does it work? Well, actually, yeah, I know. For special people, Reem, I do make. But to be honest, I want you to make it and then share it with me and say, well, Julia, I made it.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Yes, my website is really to inspire and motivate people to cook for themselves in the kitchen.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
was
also,
getting excited. Maybe you should do a trial.
well, as I said, for special people, I do. But I just wanted to do something a bit different. So really, for me, the biggest kick is to see you and Bosco in the kitchen making a cake. You know,
okay.
That's a deal. We can do a show like that,
Yeah,
Bosco.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No. That's the
I
plan.
just I'll sit where you are, Bosco, and you can come down here.
No, Julia. That's the plan. Once lockdown is over, we'll actually do what we did the virtual real show. Reem, the virtual real. We'll actually be on one. We'll be in one room, and we'll cook with Julia. What do you say?
And then we can compete against each other with the same recipe and who makes it better.
Yeah, and you know what's so lovely is
Why do you want to compete?
It'll all be different because this is why I love cooking.
Let's not compete,
different.
Julia. Let's not
and-
compete. Let's eat. No compete, only eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the
Okay.
way, totally organic. That one's made with yeast. But the one I did have, which has somehow walked to my husband, who is
Oh,
into the
lucky,
kitchen and
lucky.
is my yeast-free soda bread.
Can you bring him along and let him say hello to us, please?
Oh, you have to come and say hello.
Go on.
No, he says he won't because he's got my bread in his mouth. He came in and nicked it, which he may not have noticed because I was
Smart
monitoring him. But I made another lovely bread. One second.
I want bread now.
He's left me a bit. This is soda bread because it's yeast free. I love this. Is called Rustic Irish soda bread, and all you do, you know yeast. It's just a teaspoon of baking soda in buttermilk, or you make it with milk and lemon juice, and then you mix that into your wonderful organic wholemeal flour, and you get this baby. Hey,
Wow.
it's cool, isn't it? I love
Throw
it.
that-
Sorry.
That sounds simple.
Julia, throw that into the my cake bag also for tomorrow pickup.
To the box.
Yeah. Okay. So
Certainly.
thank you so much, ladies, for your time. Before we
Thank
say
you for having us.
Yeah.
before we say goodbye,
Costco.
hang on. Before we say goodbye, we would love to hear a message of peace and love from the both of you. We'll start off with Reem, with Mama Reem.
I would just say, try to always smile, just for yourself, and look in the mirror. It will actually change the way you think. And then try to smile to others as much as you can, because that smile might brighten up their day, and you have no idea how much good it will do.
Wow, thank you. Lovely. Julia?
Lovely is that. And from my side, again, it's like Reem, be kind to those around you. Be kind to animals. Bosco, I love them.
Yeah.
And eat well. Look after your health. Make clever decisions on what you eat, and just love life.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Julia. It's a pleasure to have
Beautiful.
you and Reem. And I wish you both all the best and Eid Mubarak. And now that Reem has said that her mom's Syrian and they are known for their cooking stuff, I'm going to be on her case. Like, hey, can I have some iftar?
We have a good friend, Bosco. We're coming.
We're all friends, Julia. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Take care, and thank you so much for joining us today. And all the best, guys. And stay safe, stay home, wear your masks, and let's wish this COVID leaves us soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless.
Absolutely.
And kisses to Geraldine.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah, sure.